Most of the characters in Dandadan have a very tragic story, like Futa Zuma and his big brother Unji. At a young age, their father died because of overwork at a company that didn't compensate him or even care about him, while their mom was struggling with debt. As the eldest, Unji had to step up and be the man of the house, doing everything he could to keep his little brother safe. Futa was just a happy kid who loved the simplest things, like the rain boots and umbrella his mom gave to him. But one rainy day, due to the strong wind, Futa lost his grip on his umbrella and chased after it, ending up by a river. Unji grew worried and went out searching for his brother, but he was too late. His brother drowned in the river. After Futa's death, their mom tried to move on. She even took Unji to an amusement park, hoping it might cheer them up. But then, at the train station, their mom decided to end it all. Unji struggled and somehow broke free, but he couldn't stop himself from witnessing his mom's death right in front of him. But I was thinking maybe the mom actually planned it all along, considering everything is just going downhill. She was thinking that might as well end everything than my son to actually suffer more in this cruel world. Unji ended up in a foster home, but that didn't last long. After a fight with some bullies, Unji ran away and became a gangster leader, always looking for a fight, driven by hate and rage. Things didn't start to change until Officer Vega came and took him in. But before that, Unji's gang clashed with the police, and Vega was the one who arrested him, sending him to the juvenile detention. After getting out, Unji tried to get revenge on Vega, attacking him again and again. But no matter what he did, he couldn't defeat Vega. One night, Unji snuck into Vega's room while he was sleeping. He could have taken his revenge right then, but when he saw Vega sleeping beside a picture of his wife and daughter, something stopped him. Unji saw a different side of Vega, a man who had lost his family too. And Vega was really just trying to help him. One day, as Unji walked along the riverbank where Futa had drowned, he saw a boy being bullied, his belongings thrown into the river. Desperate, the boy leaped into the raging waters and was swept away in an instant. Hunted by Futa's death, Unji moved to help. But before he could act, Officer Vega, without hesitation, jumped into the river to save the boy. As Vega struggled against the current, his life too was at risk. Unji, overwhelmed with helplessness, couldn't bear to witness another death. Desperate, he ran down to the riverbank, hoping to prevent another tragedy. That was when Unji met Umbrella Boy, Futa's spirit, who offered Unji his powers to help save the boy and Vega. With his brother's power helping him, Unji managed to pull both the boy and Vega from the river. When Unji went to their family's grave with Vega, he couldn't shake the guilt, feeling like he should have been the one who died instead of Futa. He believed that Futa's joy and innocence would have been enough to keep their mom going. But Vega tried to comfort him, reminded Unji that he had to keep living for their sake. If you thought that was sad, wait until you hear about Acrobatic Silky. When she became a yokai, Silky lost all her memories. But despite barely knowing who she was, she knew something was missing. And when Ira mistook her for her mom, she latched onto Ira, obsessed with hearing the word mom again. After that moment though, Ira was never able to see her. For the next 10 years, Silky stalked Ira, waiting and hoping. And when Ira was finally able to see her after touching Okarun's balls, Silky was overjoyed to the point that she snatched her up, desperate to hear that one word she'd been waiting for. But instead, Ira called her a monster. Heartbroken, Silky deep-throated Ira and blamed Momo for everything. Silky even said she'd forgive Momo if she called her mommy. But why is Silky so obsessed with being called mom? Back when she was human, Silky was just a struggling single mother, taking all kinds of jobs, doing whatever she had in order to provide for her daughter. One day, she finally saved enough to buy her little girl a dress. But then these loan shark gangsters looking guys came, unnecessarily wrecked her shit, kicking her curry rice dinner off the table. if Sanji was there seeing those mofo disrespect food, women, and abuse the child, Okurun's not gonna be the only one with missing balls. Silky was desperate. She ran through the streets trying to get her daughter back, but in the end, she lost all hope and took her own life with one final dance. After Silky fought Momo and Okurun, Aira died, and Aku Silky begged Momo to transfer her aura to bring Aira back to life. To prove she meant no harm, Silky even ripped off her own jaw. Momo agreed, and the aura transfer worked by doing the JoJo move. But Acrobatic Silky began to crumble away. Memories of her real daughter flooded back, filling her with a deep regret for not being a better mom. Just before she vanished, Aira hugged her, soothing her soul and wished her peace by saying, "I love you, Mom." Speaking of motherly love, let's talk about Bamora. She was just a little kid when her home planet was attacked by the Cur. Think of these guys like the movie War of the Worlds and Xenomorph Queen smash and give birth to Godzilla. And Bamora was the only Sumerian child who survived. She was rescued by Banga, a fierce fighter who, along with a few Sumerian women, had been fighting to protect their lives during the invasion. Even though Banga tried to keep some distance and didn't want to be seen as a motherly figure, Bamora couldn't help to see her that way. As Bamora grew older, things only got worse. After another brutal ambush by the Cur, it was just Bamora, Banga, and 2 other survivors. Everyone else in the resistant group was gone. They were forced to hide in the cave, but by then, everything was weighing down on Bamora. She lost hope, and in the moment of despair, begging Banga to take her life. But Banga couldn't do it. That's when she remembered the Sumerian pyramid, an ancient structure that could transport them to a second homeland they called Idea, also known as Earth. So they fought their way through the Cur forces to reach the pyramid, which had been turned into a prison for the remaining male Sumerian. Bamora managed to sneak in and freed one of the prisoners, which sparked a riot as the man tried to escape. Banga, after getting hold of a powerful exosuit that resembled their god, rallied the man to join the fight. Together they made it to the pyramid and activated the gate to Earth. But the problem is, the gate only had enough power to transport one person. Banga didn't hesitate. She forced Bamora to go through, giving her the exosuit and telling her to find a strong man on Earth to marry him and continue the Sumerian bloodline. Bamora tearfully called out Banga and she was teleported away. And just before she disappeared, Banga told Bamora, "I love you." When it comes to love, no one is as deprived as the Evil Eye. He was just a little boy when the Kito family chose him as the sacrifice for a monster, a giant worm called Totsunoko. People believed this creature would stop the volcano from destroying the village, so they thought offering kids was the only way to stay safe. You wouldn't believe if I told you his life was worse than that of a street dog. They barely fed him, keeping him trapped in a cage for most of his childhood. Every day he watched through the bars as the other kids played outside, laughing and living freely. Sometimes he'd mimic their dance moves, pretending he was part of their world. All he ever wanted was to join them, even for just a fleeting second before his life slipped away. Years after his death, the boy's spirit reappeared in front of a family, but only the son saw him. The ghost started dancing to get the boy's attention, trying to show he meant no harm. But at some point, the boy's parents took their own lives, and the boy became the next sacrifice. The spirit desperately tried to help the kid escape his fate. He tried again and again, but as just a ghost, there was nothing he could do. He was completely helpless, forced to watch history repeat itself. Furious that the Kito family was putting another kid through the same nightmare he had suffered, the boy's spirit changed and became the Evil Eye. As the years passed and more sacrifices were made, his hatred for the Kito family grew into a deeper resentment for all of humanity, and he wanted to annihilate every last one of them. Speaking of sacrifices, no one can top this Dad of the Year, Peeny Weenie, aka Mr. Mantis Shrimp. Known for his unconditional love for his son, he had a wife and a kid back in his home planet. But after losing his wife to an illness, his son ended up getting sick with the same thing and needed a blood transfusion. Pennywinnie was desperate for money to save his son, but since he was one of the weakest of his kind, he had no choice but to take a dangerous job. That's how he ended up working for the Serpo. After barely surviving a fight, he collapsed in front of Momo and Ira. They found him all beat up and knocked out, and instead of finishing him off, they did something that no one had ever done for him, by showing kindness to him. When he woke up, bandaged up with a plate of curry next to him, he was shocked. It was the first time in his life someone had been kind to him, and he didn't know how to handle it. That little act of kindness hit him hard, and he swore he'd never hurt them again. After dinner, Mr. Mantis Shrimp broke down and told them everything. Okaron, desperate to help, even offered his own wiener. Huh, damn! That's how valuable his pee-pee is. Johnny Sins? Nah, more like Johnny Cleanse. Calculated. But as much as Mr. Mantis Shrimp needed help, he refuses. He didn't want to hurt anyone else. But then Seiko stopped him. Noticed something weird about Mr. Mantis. His blood had a familiar scent, and it was milk.
Special.
She promised him a cow and its milk could work as a substitute for his son's blood. It was a weird solution, but it gives him hope. With the cow safely aboard his ship, Mr. Mantis Shrimp finally believed he had a real chance to save his son. Grateful beyond words, he told Momo and the others he would never forget what they have done to him. Finally, a dad who didn't just come back with the milk, but with the whole ass cow. But his problems weren't over yet. When he got back to his world, he realized the cow couldn't make milk because of the weird conditions on his planet. In the end, Mr. Mantis Shrimp decided to move to Earth with his son and settle down as a farmer. The heartwarming stories don't stop there. We also have Rin Sawaki and her best friend Mai. These two girls dreamed of becoming an idols together, but Rin was a very responsible kid since she had to take care of her grandma while her mom had to work. When Rin and her friends were practicing for an upcoming audition, she immediately backed out. Mai and her friends thought she was just making excuses, which made Rin says being an idol isn't worth it. They had a big fight and Mai called Rin a traitor. When Rin was at home, Mai's mom called and told her they were at the audition venue, and Mai was so nervous she froze up. She even said she couldn't perform without Rin. So Mai's mom asked if Rin could come to the audition. Rin wasn't sure, but her grandma told her to go for it and that she should live without regrets. When Mai and her mom went to pick her up because Mai wanted to apologize, there was an accident and both Mai and her mom died. After that, Mai turned into a yokai called Ombudsman and hunted Rin. To exercise it and draw it out, they need to go to a place where the yokai's regret is holding on, and that is the audition venue. On their way to the audition, Rin was overwhelmed and hesitated when asked to replace Hayashi's vocalist, who'd been knocked out. She hadn't sung a note since Mai died. But with Seiko's encouragement, Rin sang and restored the protective barrier around them, and she rocked. While she was singing, Rin connected with Mai's spirits, and Mai started getting her memories back. When Mai's spirit finally found peace, she apologized for what happened in the past. Rin said she still wanted to be friends. Together, they used their song to stop a demon yokai school building thing from crushing them. At the audition site, Mai started to fade away. She confessed that she was jealous of Rin's talent and only wanted to become an idol to please her mom, which made her feel like a traitor all along. Rin told Mai that she wasn't a fake. Her kindness and how she always gave it her all made her special, an idol in her own way. It was sad, but the good news is Mai hasn't moved on to the afterlife yet. She turned into something, I don't know, a spirit turtle? Wait, spirit turtle? Shield hero reference? Otsurai? Mummy? On the topic of talent, if it were a meal, Kouki Yukishiro would have been the main course. When she was younger, she was a piano prodigy and everyone loved her. But as the years went on, everything changed. Despite her efforts, no one saw her the way they used to. Not even her family, especially her younger sister. Feeling desperate for attention, Kouki started uploading lewd photos on her dump account just to feel wanted. But things got way worse when someone recognized her and blackmailed her. Reading about this, even a crazy guy like me feels sad and can somewhat feel and understand her need of appreciation. As of this recording, we couldn't have much info, but I hope the gang can pull her off this misery. On to the next fine lady, Reiko Kashima. She's a natural beauty. But just don't let her put on the cursed makeup. We don't know much about her backstory yet, but after seeing Okurun protecting Momo from her, memories of her past started flooding back when she was human and in love. Their relationship ended in a tragedy, and though we're not sure if her lover died in a plane bombing, it seems like it might have happened around World War II. But Reiko is one of the most broken characters in Dandadan.